The AP has been liberally biased, not as liberally biased as the Washington Post, but they've been liberally biased. And that's part of the calculation here. But I will say, Sean, the AP is not a normal organization, right?
Correct.
They are in the
They
pool
publish a
and the
style book
wires.
that
They
everybody has
do.
to abide by.
They do, but they also distribute information to organizations around the world. So excluding them,
But also that's the
excluding
problem,
them,
Mark. That's the exact problem. Is
but
that when one
it
organization who is
can't be
biased is
based.
what everybody
It can't.
sees, reads, and
It
hears
can't be
around the
based.
world.
It can't be based. I agree that that's a problem, and they should address that through other means, which they are. But they cannot. They cannot set the precedent of excluding them based on their content, because there's content that the presidents don't like about all sorts of people, whether it's ideological bias or carelessness or prejudice,
So,
whatever it is. You
Jack, I
cannot.
know.
You cannot exclude them. You cannot exclude them for this. You just
All right,
can't.
we have a different view on this because I don't think they're being excluded. I think you get to choose who goes into your office or not.
But
Secondly,
that's the thing.
Jack,
At the end
They
of
were
the
excluded.
day,
They're
getting
the AP,
content.
and they were excluded. And they were excluded
Yeah.
from a press conference, not just the Oval Office.
But hold on a sec. That press conference is broadcast on television, X,
That's right.
everywhere. You get the content. To me,
You
where there's
don't.
a problem,
It's the credibility of being able to ask questions. That's
Yeah,
it's an important function.
But
Dan,
should they
it's an
just-
important
But hold on a
function.
sec. 99% of the time, they don't answer the questions, and it's. But look, to
It's
me,
an
where this has become a
important
problem is
function.
if
but here's
I'm
the
more worried that Kash Patel is going to show up at journalists' houses and say,
Oh.
you wrote that. No, I know, Sean, I don't really worry about that. But my point is, like, that's where you're crossing a line.
So here's
as
what I would
opposed
say.
to, like,
I
to
mean,
me, this.
I know, Jack, and I'm sure you're loving this, but part of I think the beauty of this is that we are a platform that brings you inside like no one else can or does. And that's the beauty of this. And so I think what I love about the audience we have here is that people are much more interested in about how the sausage is made. And what I will tell you is two things. Number one, it's the AP, it's sort of like history has caught up with them. And this is, I get, Mark and I can disagree, but the point is, they have held a view for the longest time and been unbelievably elitist and arrogant about how they've covered stuff. And it's now the chickens are coming home to roost. The second thing I would just point out about this whole situation, both in terms of the WHCA, the White House Correspondents Association, and the AP, is personalities matter, right? And part of the problem, I was over there at the White House yesterday talking to a lot of folks about this. Eugene Daniels, who's the head of the White House Correspondents Association right now, the president, has been unbelievably leftist in his coverage, both during Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's administration.
It's insane. He's the head of the Correspondents Association.
Right.
It's insane.
But he has done, and the same thing with Julie Pace at the AP, is that the people who are leading these organizations at this time have a lack of credibility when it comes to defending their position because of their bias that they've held for years, if not decades. And it's
totally agree.
Problem.
Totally agree.